This is breaking news.
Upon arrival, officers observed a male child and a female child in the roadway. The child was pronounced dead at the scene. The female was taken to the hospital for further treatment, where she later succumbed to her injuries. An initial investigation revealed that the school bus was traveling eastbound on New Street, making the left-hand turn onto Mamaroneck Avenue. The school bus did have the green light. The bus was en route to Mamaroneck Avenue School to drop off students. There were several students and an aide on board. None of the passengers sustained any injuries on the bus. As the bus was turning, there were several adults and children in the crosswalk, crossing with the crosswalk sign. The driver of the school bus is currently cooperating with investigators, and it appears at this time that it was a tragic accident. The Westchester County Accident Investigation Team was called and responded and will be assisting with this investigation. The male child is a 6-year-old kindergarten child from Mamaroneck Avenue School. The adult female is 43 years old and was a child's mother. Both are residents of Mamaroneck. The bus driver is a 68-year-old male from Mount Vernon, New York. At this time, he is cooperating, and there are no charges pending at this time. This is preliminary investigation. If we receive any further information, we will send that out. We are not releasing any names at this time because this is an ongoing investigation.
Chief, on occasion, I should say, often after an accident like this, the bus driver is asked to give a blood sample just as part of the investigation. Was that done here?
It was.
So the driver's cooperating with that and
He's fully cooperating with us, yes. Yes, ma'am.
When you describe what happened,
yes.
You said that the driver had the green light, so he had the right to turn left, but you said they were also crossing, and they were allowed to be crossing at that time.
Correct. So motorists are supposed to yield to pedestrians that are in the crosswalk. So the way that intersection works, because it's also intersecting with Mamaroneck Avenue. Mamaroneck Avenue north and southbound has the red light, so that cars that are coming from New Street at that intersection then have the green light, but it's incumbent upon them to yield to pedestrians if they're in the crosswalk.
Okay, so at this point, are you saying that he did not yield?
We're still investigating. We're still kept looking over video footage to see exactly what happened.
Can you clarify, did he say, I mean, this is part of your investigation, maybe you
Correct.
can tell us, but did he say he didn't see them? Did he say he was too, like, what is the reason that he gave?
So right now we're still conducting our investigation, getting statements and getting video, so as more information becomes apparent, then we'll release that information.
You mentioned videos, were there cameras on the bus?
I believe there are cameras on the bus, yes, so that will be part of our investigation.
And
yes, ma'am.
were they facing in?
That I don't know. That I don't know.
How long was the driver taken to the hospital as well?
The driver was taken to be evaluated, that's correct.
I do a bit of follow-up to what you said there. You're saying that there were multiple adults and children crossing the crosswalk.
That's correct.
Okay. He's driving the bus. He's making that left-hand turn. He doesn't see any of these people?
And again, this is still under our investigation. So until we get all finals. I don't have that information.
Were these two young folks related?
So the victims are the 6-year-old child and his mother.
Here's a little confused because at the top you did say two children.
Oh, my apologies. My apologies.
So we asked the superintendent for some thoughts on this very sad day and the steps that the district is taking to help families recover at this time.
Sure. So
On the mic, please. And can you speak up, please? Speak loud. The mics are far.
Sure. So presently we have assembled our crisis team across the district. There are 3 separate levels of communication that have gone out, one to the whole community, one to the building, very specific, and then one very specifically to the class of the young student who was killed. We have availability all day tomorrow for our school community members. We've opened up the afternoon session to provide grief counseling for members of the community as well. And we'll evaluate that tomorrow in terms of next steps and what else might be needed.
Superintendent, when is the last day of school for Mamaroneck Avenue School?
End of next week. So we go through June 25th. So we have about a week left.
And there were children on that school bus on their way to that school.
That's correct.
But speak to that if you could please. I mean, because this had to be so traumatic.
So I won't get into details about any individual children, but anybody that was potentially a witness to the accident, we're working with those parents and guardians directly.
Can you identify the people that appeared to be family were brought to the scene and then provided treatment?
I can't comment. That's a police investigation. I wouldn't hesitate to. I wouldn't comment on that.
Some parents have expressed concern that there isn't a crossing guard at that intersection. Is there one typically or not, or what's the procedure with crossing guards?
I do not believe there's typically a crossing guard at that particular intersection. There are on some of the others on that road. There's a crosswalk there. There's a street light, and that's what is presently there.
Do you think you could possibly change that in the future? Because there were multiple parents out there, I mean, overcome with grief, but also anger, saying that they have been asking for a crossing guard at that crossing for quite some time, and they're saying now this tragedy happens, that never should have happened. Can you address that?
Yeah, I'm not going to get into what should have or couldn't have happened. I know that there will be I'm sure that we are going to take a deep dive as a community and look at the most effective ways to keep our passageways safe for all.
The little boy's graduation ceremony, was that supposed to happen next week?
It's set for Monday.
Set for Monday. And is it true that today was the last full day of classes for that kindergarten class?
No, tomorrow there's classes as well. There's a lot of end of the year celebratory things that are occurring presently. So it might be the last full class day, but they're certainly not the last school day.
June 25th is that last.
June, I believe there's half days that run through to the end of next week, pretty much. So.
Can we ask the school principal to share a few thoughts on how are the kids doing? Can you tell us anything specifically about this poor little boy? I know principals typically get to know all the kids in the school.
Yeah, we're not going to speak directly about the family at all. So I would prefer any other questions. I'll take any questions.
One thing that makes our community really special is how we band together,
What was the mics, please?
how we support each other as a community. And I think that that's what we're leaning to right now for all of our students, for all of our providers that are there. Our plan tomorrow morning is to open with fully staffed with providers who can support students, and our plan is to band together wraparound services for the family and ensure that everyone feels supported, and that's what a community does, and that's our intent. And while we are not speaking about specifics, certainly know that we are checking in on every child, speaking to parents. We've communicated from wide community all the way to the class. We have a plan for entry tomorrow, so we are doing our best to make sure everyone is supported.
And ma'am, can you say and spell your first and last name?
Sure, Sandra, Sandra, Zadrima, Zadrima.
Could the superintendent do the same, sir?
Sure, it's Charles Sampson, Sampson.
Chief, I have two more questions for you. Now, this mother and son, they were walking along. Is this their daily route? Is this what they do every day?
I don't have that information yet.
Okay. Can you talk about any counseling services that will be provided for the police? Surely that is a really traumatic thing to come upon. It doesn't matter your age.
Certainly, thank you for asking that. So we do have people and different services in place. We are having a debrief later today for any of the officers, EMS personnel, or Department of Public Works personnel that want to attend. Thank you.
I spoke to a resident who lives right on that corner. She says from her window, she sees fender benders. She sees a lot of accidents. To the best of your knowledge, do you remember the last time someone was struck by a car on that intersection with Mamaroneck?
So there was an incident, I want to say in September of last year, where the bicyclist did not sustain any injuries. Before that time, I cannot recall any other pedestrian incidents at that location.
Chief, obviously the opening of North Shore Farms has dramatically increased traffic there. The donuts, the Chipotle, you've gone from a couple of gas stations that saw some traffic to a regional, I think people drive from all over southern Westchester now to go there. Is there going to be a rethinking of timing of lights and how all that is set up? Or maybe that's a question for the mayor, I don't know.
So I will be conducting some conversations with the mayor, with our traffic consultants, to see what we can do to further enhance safety on that corridor. It is very busy. In terms of crossing guards, I would love to have a crossing guard or a police officer at every intersection. It's just not feasible, but we are going to reevaluate that to see what other locations we can possibly put additional manpower at.
Well, and I mean, also to look at it another way, it's not clear at this point whether the driver would have seen a crossing guard. I mean, he didn't see the mom, the kids,
Correct.
And other families who were in the, or maybe he did. I don't know. You're trying to figure it out, but they're obviously a safety measure, but there's no guarantee it would have made a difference in this case, I suppose.
Right, and we'll never know. I mean, crossing guards are there. They have the stop sign. They have the reflective vests to help cross students.
Chief, I know the little boy died at the scene. Did he die immediately upon impact? Or
I don't know that information, unfortunately. Okay, thank you very much. If the lieutenant does not have any of your contact information, if you just want to leave it here, and we'll keep you updated on any further information.
We give this.
Lieutenant Gatta, you can give that too? Thank you.
This has been breaking news.